I think the only way we can save U.S. soccer is if the women's team fails miserably, like horribly, like get destroyed at She's Believes, get kicked, just destroyed at Olympics, and just keep losing. I think that's the only way U.S. soccer can be fixed right now. Something major needs to happen to the women's side, because on the men's side, them not making the World Cup. Okay, they got upset for a moment, and now we're moving on. But nothing really changed. Nothing changed. You tell me what changed. I don't even know what changed. Nothing. That's what changed. Nothing. So maybe if the women's team becomes like the men's team as far as winning goes, they'll rethink everything they do. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. But sometimes you have to hit the rock bottom twice. And hitting the rock bottom once with the men's team not making it just shows that nothing's going to happen in U.S. soccer. So we need the women's team to hit rock bottom. And maybe we'll have change. Maybe there'll be an uprising. There's enough influencers in U.S. soccer that change can happen. But they won't speak up because money is controlling it. And I get it. We all need to make money and all that stuff. But money and power and prestige and all that stuff. And if you offend the wrong people, you can't progress and all that stuff. But wouldn't you rather live a life where you're free to speak? I'm kind of torn in my life. Like, I do really think about, like, oh, if I say this or say that in my podcast, I'm not going to be able to get a job or, coaching club or something like that down the road if I really need one. And I really think about that. But you know what? I'd rather work at QT, not Circle K. I work at QT for extra income than sell out and be part of the problem. I'd rather do that. I'm just so confused on our thought process. So I'm listening to ESPN FC, and they're talking about the women's national team and who's Aaron Neville, the national team coach for England, was saying how their goals to overtake the U.S. and they're talking about who is really gonna take over the U.S. or who's going to be able to compete or become a real rival of the U.S. And they brought up some good points, like Europe is putting a lot of investment in it, and once the professional games a lot better what we're doing in the U.S. A lot of the professional teams are behind it. Even Mexico's building up professional teams for the women's team, and it's funded by the first team, but not in the U.S. They're not funded that way. But they brought up one important thing to talk about is Spain. They talk about Spain is really good, and they're not funded well. But it's good because it comes from the culture. When you have a culture behind you that embraces the game of soccer, development happens much easier. So it got me thinking about the U.S. What's wrong with the U.S.? We can't keep doing what we're doing. The U.S. women's national team is not technical enough for the future of soccer, what's going to come from the rest of the world. It's going to be just like the men's. I'm telling you, it's going to be just like the men's. We keep producing the same or selecting the same players, we're going to have problems. But we have players in the United States. We have a culture identity problem, a selection problem. We don't select Hispanic kids, and we don't get enough technical players to play technical soccer. If you take a technical soccer player and put them with the typical robotic players we have within the U.S., they don't fit in well because the robotic players play system. this is how we play. This is how we're going to do. And if a technical Hispanic player gets the ball and wants to combine in a different way or something that's out of characteristic for the robo soccer players we have here in America, it doesn't fit. They don't play well. Time and time again, I see Hispanic players repeatedly stolen from their community or purchased or coerced to go play with a bunch of freaking robotic players, and they don't fit in. They're good, but they just don't fit in. They stop developing. They stop being creative. They lose the love of the game, and they end up quitting. Why would Hispanic players go on to play college and all those things? It's not fun. You go play Division I soccer on a robotic team, it's not fun. There's nothing fun about that. Why would you want to play? I evolved 2 times over as a soccer player. I was a fast, athletic kid. I loved scoring goals and all that. I loved the ball into space. I loved playing on big fields because I didn't like playing small-sided because I had no technique. I loved running. I loved the big fields. But as I developed technique and I started teaching it and I gained a ton of technique in my 30s, I'm more technical than probably 99% of the men's national team. I just can't run. I can do anything with the ball. I understand the game differently, but I'm 44. I would not play with professional soccer players that are just athletic and they can't combine. I just wouldn't do it. It's not fun. I'd rather play with a bunch of 40-year-old indoor players that actually like combining versus let's just run. It's the same concept. It's the exact same concept. The game, you're either in love with the game or you're not. Or you're just doing it because it's a job. You love the game when you're round, technical players. It's not fun playing when players aren't technical and they lose a ball and they just kick the ball up the field. There's a video of my wife took a video of me. I was playing in an adult league at Pioneer Park. I played like 2 games. Paid the whole amount, whatever the flip it was, like $90. Played 2 games and I quit. I'm like, not doing this anymore. Playing with a bunch of older guys, and they would just kick the ball deep. And this one guy, he's so bad. He shouldn't even play soccer. Hispanic guy, but he obviously didn't. He might like the game, but he did not play the game as a kid. He just picked it up or something. I don't know. He is so bad. He would just kick the ball up the field, just like look up, and you catch me screaming at him. I kept telling him, like, just knock the ball around a little bit, slow it down, because this team we're playing was much younger and they could run. I'm like, just keep it. And he's taking a touch, he's looking up, and he's hitting the ball up the field. And I'm screaming, no. And you just see, I don't know what I said. I said, like, what are you doing or whatever. And I'm ticked. And I'm turned around right away because I knew where the ball was going to the opposition because I knew we had to defend. And my wife captured it. And they're just dying laughing. But I'm like, that was the last game I played with them. I'm like, this is the worst experience ever. You guys are horrible. I just don't want to ever play with you. But I don't really know where this rant's going. But we need things to change. And maybe more losing will help. I doubt it because everyone wants to keep their jobs. But there needs to be a change. Something needs to happen. And I don't know what it is. Maybe you do. And I'm out. Goodbye.